I did my SDAIE strategy on pantomime. What pantomiming is without using words or speech, convey your emotions, actions, feelings, or whatever else you want to express without using your words. So there are 3 different ways, but also more, but 3 different examples that you can use this. You can use gestures, facial expressions, and movements. All 3 of these are especially good to use in a classroom and with EL students. Your students are able to get up and get moving and be able to be active in class and be able to put together words and movements in their head. Movements and actions are all a universal language. All students, no matter their background or language, are going to understand when you run really fast. That in their head, that means that they're running really fast. And also in English, so they're able to put together a word and a movement. It can give them confidence in the classroom. They're able to be okay with speaking up or be okay with moving and acting outwards because they've already done that before in their own language. So they can follow along with other students as well as use their own creativity when comfortable. So this can be used in a variety of ways in the classroom. One of the ways is by whole group. So by whole group, the teacher will instruct the class and will lead the class within the pantomiming. So whatever story, narrative, any type of subject that they're doing it with can be done. So let's say we're doing it in English, in language arts. So within this teacher would use a narrative and instruct the class that together they are going to create pantomimes or gestures for this book. So as they go through the book, they would create or come up with together motions and movements that they would all do when they read the story later. So then when the teacher reads the story aloud, she can visually see all of her students acting out this book. And then she'll know where students are being left or lost because they won't be doing the same thing as the other students are. Another way you can do this is by character group. Now character group is where the teacher will split up the class into small groups. Within those small groups, she will assign a character for each group member, for each group as a whole, So they will each be given a character to create movements for, or gestures or facial expressions. And then when the teacher brings the class back and they all stand up to act out the story, they will all have their own character. So when they hear the character, they know that it's their turn to act. And they've already come up with these gestures and pantomimes, so they already are aware of what to do next. This is also good for ELs because they're working together and they are given in a group that they are able to feel comfortable. The last way one of the last examples is by student-led. Student-led is where the teacher will once again separate the class into groups, into small groups, and within that small group they will decide and come up with whether the one student is reading the narrative while the rest act out the same movements, or they can split up their group into character groups. So they could have 2 or 3 students for each character, or one student for each character. It all depends on the age level and how advanced the students are and how comfortable they are with doing this on their own. And then you can have the students perform this or present it in front of the class or just in front of you as the teacher. Depends on your class style. So with that being said, there are different ways that you can use this in a classroom. One example that I like to use would be in math class, and you're trying to teach your first graders or kindergartners the idea of addition and multiplication and subtraction. So what I would do is I would have a group of students come up to the front of the class, maybe 10. And I would have 6 standing on this side of me, and 3 standing on this side of me, and 1 student in the middle. The student in the middle would be holding a sign or creating a addition sign with their arms so that they would be acting out what they want. So they would be acting out addition. I could also do this where I'd be acting out addition. And then I would have to be like, okay, so 6 plus 3, and then I'd have another student over there and they would make an equal sign, and then all the students would come together, and then you'd be able to count them and visually see that there are 9 students total. So then they're able to see that 6 plus 9, or 6 plus 3 equals 9. So as a whole, they're able to visually see this, and you can do this with as many numbers as you need to. So you can have each class, like each student come up and do it together. And that is just one of the ways that I like to do this. There are many different ways you can have them act out triangles, act out shapes, and the whole class has to guess. Any way you do this is going to get the class moving and having a good time.